There we go. We are live. We are here. Hi, Chantal and Leo. I wonder if Ken made it to his strip mall. So, we have kind of an unexpected feast happening again today because I am going to make that Argentinian dessert. However, I do have to prep my focaccia overnight. So I'll be just mixing up the ingredients, putting in the fridge. And then the other thing is that I have too many bananas. You did, Tiana! I had my hair pink for a little bit and it actually ended up drying it out a lot because you had to brighten up the blonde. So that's why I had quite a bit of a chop. It's partly why it's kind of like up today because, yeah, I let it air dry. I really want to see it. Like, what's your natural hair color? I guess you had to be quite light or blonde. So tomorrow morning, I will be making a burrata. Now for burrata, I needed rennet, citric acid, milk that's just like, it's pasteurized, but not like super, like ultra pasteurized. And I also needed some heavy cream. So got a lot of stuff. I also needed cheesecloth. But with the burrata, I'll be making focaccia. I'll be using the pistachio pesto that I made this week. The hot honey, I got some mortadella, and it's going to be like kind of a pizza feast. But I want to make it in preparation for watching the match. I also got a bunch of like, Nico was asking me like, well, did you invite anyone? I was like, well, like my friend is actually like out of town for work, and my other friend, I actually don't even know. I should ask her because we really will have a feast, but I'm terrible with that. Like I'm not good at making plans in advance, and so I'm very, yeah, I will ask a couple friends because I will have so much food. Oh, okay, just the tips. Well, that must look really good with the strawberry blonde. Is it like a hot pink or kind of a bit more of a pastel? I'm gonna take everything out here. So we are making, this is called Chocotorta. Very simple, very delicious. I can't replicate the recipe exactly because we don't have one of the ingredients. It's called casan creme. More magenta. Yes. Hello, Scott. Okay. So, this is the beginning, okay? So yes, I'm very curious about, so you can actually use citric acid in your laundry and it helps soften everything. So yes, first we're making that Argentinian dessert, then I'm going to prep my focaccia, and then lastly, because I have a bunch of bananas that I didn't use, I will be making a banana bread yet again. But this one, I think Nico's gonna bring to his office, so that's good. We like that there's a destination for this banana bread. Now, okay, let's get started on the chocotorta. So basically, you just need equal parts of sour cream, which in Argentina they don't, I don't know if they have sour cream, but they have something called casan creme, which is basically like a cream cheese-ish. There's nothing like it here. The closest, I would say, it's like a mix between Laughing Cow cheese and sour cream. It's in the middle. It's a little bit less of that tangy. It's a little more, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like mascarpone, I would say. It's like the closest, but still not quite. So anyway. Hi, Carl. I was also at the mall, and yesterday after work, my plan was to go to the gym, but I ended up having a 3-hour nap. And like, I don't nap. I don't do naps because I can never fall asleep. But my body, and I still feel it today, I'm very tired. I only fell asleep around 2 a.m. and I got up at the regular like 7:30 in the morning. So it's clear that my body needs rest. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm resting. So no gym for a little while. This is my last week to doing this contract. Then I think I'm going to take a week off. And then I'm back at an old job for like hopefully 3 weeks. And then fingers crossed, everything goes through and I end up starting a new job somewhere else again. So this is job number 4. I'm not complaining. This economy is insane, but your girl's tired. So I'm going to see how much dulce de leche is left. I do have another one here. So this is repostero. Okay. Let me see if I have. Oh, I might actually not have very much. So, I might have to top it up a little bit. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. But anyway, we're going to see. So, step 1, I have to figure out, it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio of the dulce de leche and the sour cream. And of course, using full fat. So, yeah, I think I think I mentioned last stream that I have a pretty good sense of my fridge, or just my kitchen inventory. Like, I know what I have, and little alarm bells are dinging because I'm pretty sure I have another dulce de leche, unless Nico has it at his. So this is 105 grams. 105 grams. I'm gonna double check here because I'm not trusting. It's my fridge. Repostero, this cheese. Got some this. I'm almost certain that I have another one. Almost certain, and maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't. I'm gonna check everywhere because I know what's gonna happen is like a week from now, when I'm looking for something else, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, I've checked, but you don't have another one, so. They don't normally use, there's different types of dulce de leche. This is called repostero, and it's like for baking, I think. But it's more stiff, so it holds its shape. It holds its shape, so it's good for like icing and piping and stuff. Okay, 150 grams, but because it's more stiff, I might actually have to use more sour cream, but we'll see. In the end, it's still going to be delicious. And that's what matters. Okay, tear. I love Chinese food. And you know what? While we're here, because we're gonna be here a while, it's a little unexpected because I realize I have to prep focaccia tonight. And my bananas, I don't want them to go bad. So, 150 grams. So I'm gonna do 100, maybe 60, just because we're gonna see. Okay. Whoops, that's too much. Okay. And I honestly will see. So you just mix them together. I've made this before. This is what I had. This is what I made myself for my birthday. Ooh, Tiana, good question. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's check up on our little vanilla. Vanessa the vanilla. She's darkening. She's getting there. I don't know how long I'm gonna leave it. Like, I want to leave it for a really long time, but you can open it and just keep adding some more vanilla beans and just... We shall see. So just mixing this. And because I'm gonna have that week off, I told Ken that it would be a really good time for us to do our little ice cream collab. So Carl, I think there's some interesting collab coming up for you. We'll always bring up ice cream, but we will not be going to Baskin Robbins. In fact, I always take a look on Google Maps and create kind of a map of where we're gonna go. And I feel like we always end up kind of rushing because I'm trying to get to places before they close, or I'm trying to get it. I know the pizza one, I feel like we're running. Oh, it's because the pizza one I had pre-ordered, the Bariali pizza. So we needed to get there for a specific time, and it turned out like perfectly. But I think we were also helped by the fact that a lot of places just didn't have any slices. That they didn't sell any slices, or they didn't have any left. I find it's like, yeah, I don't like dinguses, but at least if like he's filming me or like we're filming together, then it makes, I don't know. Alrighty. Well, sometimes you get to Karen, who thinks that, actually I had that video pop up in my feed again, the one where she's complaining, saying that like he's thinking that he's like creeping on me. And then she just doubled down. It's, you know, I get it. It's not nice feeling like you're wrong. Okay? I feel like that too sometimes, where I just like, I don't know. Yes, it's, but in that situation, it's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, carry on. Like, but just, yeah, I don't know. There was such an easy out because clearly it was a misunderstanding. But people just want to argue for the sake of arguing, you know? I'm gonna see, because I'm gonna make, okay. So basically I'm going to be dipping, these are called chocolinas. This is from Argentina. You can get these here, but they're not vegetarian because they're made with beef tallow. So you dip these in milk, and I want to see if I have a better container that's going to fit them better. And my crappy coffee machine broke last week, so I ended up getting instant coffee, and honestly, I've been enjoying it. I don't have to wait in the morning. My coffee's just ready. I also, for the first time, and I had someone recommend that I review some of my appliances. Like I got a cuckoo rice cooker recently. And really been enjoying it. I mean, it's very early on, but so far, like last night I set it to have my steel cut oats be ready for 8 a.m. in the morning. 8 a.m. in the morning. 8 a.m. And I woke up to the smell of overnight oats. Or not overnight oats, but like steel cut oats just ready. And I was like, what a delight. What a delight. And it was really easy to, I just searched on Google how to do it. And basically you just set like a countdown for how many hours from now do you want it to be ready? Sorry, I'm yapping and I can see you guys are chatting, and I do want to read what you're saying. What's going on? Ken is a gentleman. He always look out for you no matter what. A good man can relax, enjoy. You know, what I like about Ken is that he doesn't seem to be too bothered by people who are dinguses or like confrontation. I'm really not good with it and it makes me very uncomfortable. He doesn't seem, you know... Yeah, you know what? Really good on her for noticing, but you know, when we clarified the situation, and it's funny because like I was in there and I had no idea what was happening until I think later when Yahya and like Ken were talking about, and then I had to go back and watch. So I'm dipping in the milk. I had to go back and watch because I didn't know what had happened. I don't know if they usually put like a layer of the mixture at the bottom. Possibly. But I like this little container because it fits basically 6 perfectly. And I just use 1 entire pack and it makes the chocotorta. Okay, and now I just use this to layer it in on top. The first layer is always the hardest because like, and that's why I should have maybe put a layer on the bottom so they had something to grip to. But it's hard. So I'm basically just covering in a thin layer. I'm gonna have to watch how his family makes it. But it's so delicious. This is more like a, I don't know if I can compare, like, okay. Millefeuille is made with like feuilleté or like some kind of flaky pastry, right? But it is layered, so there's like the flaky pastry, cream, flaky pastry, or custard or whatever. Not that this is anywhere near that flavor profile, but it's a similar concept. So it's just like a little like chocolate tea cookie. And you dip it in the milk, so it already softens, but you leave it in the fridge overnight, and then the next day it's all kind of like combined with a bunch of layers. So what am I doing? The ice cream with Ken would be the week of July 27th, hopefully. That's if we can make it work with our schedules. So not next week, the week after, because I decided I was going to take some time for myself because I've been basically going from one job to the next. I did take some time off in March, which was nice. But I also had like surgery in March, so it was like I did have time off, but then... Wait, did I take time off? I can't remember. No, I think I was just off for like recovery. I think so. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I don't think that I have to double check actually. I don't know. I know I didn't take like time where it's not for recovery, so I'm bad with that because like I don't know. I don't like to use time off for like nothing. But it's not for nothing. I was already tired starting this new job, and like I think it's just catching up to me a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? I need to pause. And my body's telling me that I'm tired too. I actually had to go to a Portuguese butcher today to find rennet for tomorrow's mozzarella and actually burrata. But they have a lot of bakeries in the city. You know, I'm curious. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys something. Doing nothing is awesome. I have a hard time with that, actually. That's the problem that I have. I'm kind of like my mom, where we have a hard time just sitting around. That's why I don't really have a TV. I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV. I'm always doing something. But question for you guys, have you had a lot of, in my area, there's a lot of Ukrainian bakeries. And what is your experience with Ukrainian baked goods? Like specifically, they have cookies, they have like cakes and stuff, but specifically they're kind of their little baked, they have, I don't know if they have croissants, they have little donuts, they have all kinds of things, but I want to hear from you. No? Oh, hello, Vasily. Yeah, there's Caldense probably is. There's a few locations. I mean, there's little Portugal, so there's all kinds of... I've been to Portugal, I think 3 or 4 times. At some point, I wanted to live there. I wanted to find myself a Portuguese husband, so... That worked out great. Because when you're a flight attendant, you can actually pretty much commute from anywhere in the world, because you can make your schedule such that you're like... Some people do 1 month on, 1 month off. Obviously, it's absolutely brutal to be working 1 month on and then... But if you're commuting from really far away, then you get to enjoy 1 month off wherever. But some people commute. I met a lady who commuted from South Korea. Depending on what your schedule is like, you can make it work. There's a girl who commuted from France. I think she lives there now. So that was kind of my plan, I guess. So my experience with Ukrainian baked goods, and like it's pretty much been across the board. Like anytime I go to, there's one, I think it's called, it's funny because I walk by it like almost every day, Jachenko or like something. It's at the corner of like, it's really close to Jane and Bloor. And I've had a lot of their stuff, and I've had stuff from other Ukrainian bakeries, and I find it really tastes a lot like oil. Like it tastes, I don't know if it's like shortening, I don't know what they use, but it tastes, and like a cookie, they'll put it in a bag, and it'll, like the bag will just be soaked through with oil, and so I'm curious if that's just like a style, like what, I guess they just use like similar recipes. But I just wanted to know if you guys had the same experience. I love wine too much. I mean, I love wine. I just can't drink it very much because it makes me anxious and it makes me sleep like crap. So I'm just layering and layering and layering. Yeah, it makes me anxious, makes me sleep like crap. I do like the taste of it, but I like it with food. Like if I have pasta, I love to have like a little glass of wine or something. I usually just have half, like, or a couple sips, because it really does affect me and affects my stomach. Even beer recently, like I've been drinking more beer because I've been going to see a lot of like FIFA games at the Swan or at pubs, and I love beer. I love Belgian Moon. Like I really enjoy a nice wheat beer, but I was finding like my stomach was hurting, and I was like, what's happening? Now I have been taking like a really high dose of iron, so it's possible that that's what it is, but I think it's maybe both at the same time. But I've always struggled with like alcohol. It just doesn't, it affects me a lot. So, which is good, honestly. Then it makes me like not want to drink too much. Oh no! The cookie split. Okay. Okay, that was pretty much the perfect quantity. Like 150 grams of dulce de leche and 150 grams of sour cream will make like one package worth of little cake. Now, I don't know how they managed to make it so pretty. Sometimes, like, I guess I'd have to stack it maybe on a plate, but I feel like that would be difficult. I don't know. Maybe they use some kind of like square or like, you know, those like acetate, I don't know, acetate or like plastic things that you put around cake, especially the ones that are like no bake or the ones that are softer, like the mousse ones. And then it's only when you're ready to eat it that. Okay, let me see how many are left. Okay, I'm just gonna eat. No, good. Okay. So, this is fine. This is fine. This. This. So, that's basically it. Kind of looks very messy, but you can see all the layers. So I'll put it in the fridge. And I managed to get how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 6 layers. So it's gonna get all nice and soft and be ready to enjoy tomorrow. And this I'll just put in a little container, the leftover cookies. Now I have this. Okay, I take this out because it will be this. So this, I'm very curious how the burrata is going to turn out tomorrow. I really have to study the recipe. It's all about temperature and timing. So next we're going to prep the focaccia mix. This away. So here. Gosh, I have so many things. And I guess that milk. Maybe I'll put this in my oatmeal tomorrow. So this is milk. Okay. You know when you have an extra lid? Or I'm like, something's wrong here. Okay, I know why. That's fine. Okay. So, focus. So my focaccia. Yes, there's a bakery here that does custom cakes. Well, there's a lot of beer, brain tumor from all of his years of beer drinking. I mean. Ooh, Tiana, that sounds so good. Someone on Reddit, actually, Reddit, that's how I was able to find the rennet. It was a post from 6 years ago. Where someone had asked where they could find rennet, and they had a couple suggestions, and the first one is where I found it. So, for my focaccia. Just like to look at my flour to make sure there's not like so it's 4 cups of flour. Now I've gotten used to the no name one. So I always use the same one because it makes a big difference. And for this, it's 4 cups of flour. And then I use 1 of these quick rise instant yeast packets. Salt and 3 cups of warm water. And then I put it in the fridge overnight to do the first proofing. The second proofing is for about a couple hours. And it's going to be nice and warm tomorrow, so my apartment's going to be ripe for the focaccia proofing. All right, that's a 3. And I had to get a new bag of flour because I knew I didn't have enough. Okie dokes. Which is good because I also need it for my banana bread. You're serious about cooking up a storm here. Also, so oh, this is an ingredient for my hands. I always try to like clean my kitchen a little bit before, but you know what? I was too tired, and my Uber order for like my citric acid and the cream came just in time. So I think we're leaving my kitchen to be very relatable. We're leaving it to be kind of a mishmash of whatever's in here. The fruit flies are a lot better, and you know what I realized? I don't always buy bananas because I'm not always eating them, and clearly like I don't eat them fast enough and I end up having to make banana bread. Oh no. But that's where the fruit flies are coming from. So I made that realization. Okay, so yes, sinastu. I've done that a couple times. It was a recipe from, I think, Molly Baz from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, and she had where she like actually grills the romaine hearts, which is interesting. But I don't do that. But I make my own croutons as well, often with like leftover focaccia or like a bread that's dry or something. Just put them in the air fryer or in the oven, and honestly, it tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. It really is worthwhile trying to do it. Okay, so 1 of these little packets. But yes, Caesar dressing from scratch. Hands down, very much worth it. And it's so easy. So easy, very quick. And it really gives that elevated, like, it's interesting because like, I want to say it tastes just like a restaurant, but I'm like, but it tastes better like a restaurant. Better than like a restaurant, which is why I eat at home a lot of the time. Okay. All right, now one of the key things to do here, I love to mix dry ingredients. Oh my goodness, let me just destroy my kitchen again. Mix them really well with a whisk. Because sometimes you get little pockets of ingredients that are just not mixed, and it makes a big difference. I find like I watch it rise so quickly and so well when I mix it very well. So it's just flour, salt, yeast, and water. Yeah, it's interesting. She puts it on the grill, so it has a bit of that like smoky taste, but it's dry. I think she puts a little bit of olive oil just to get it to crisp up. Yeah, honestly, it's too bad it still really smells like smoke, but the temperature outside is a delight. It is a delight. I do love summer as well. I didn't used to love it, but I do now. I feel like the heat doesn't get to me as much. All right, we're just gonna make a little hole in the middle here. And I always use a big old whisk, or not a whisk, a spatula to mix. Love hot. I made a coffee and I just didn't even touch it. I got a notification on my phone as I was hopping on the TTC to go downtown about that tornado, and I was like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? But it was just like, oh, this cell phone coverage area or something, and I'm like, it must be very large, and I think, yeah, it was like in Mississauga, so I'm like, well. And I feel like in the tunnel on the TTC, I don't know, I guess it depends how deep in the tunnels you are, but it might not be the worst place to be unless like there's a power outage, obviously, which then you're like stuck. And I thought about that. I've been kind of stuck between two stations for about like 15-20 minutes before, and I was like, I literally thought to myself, now would be a really awful time to have a panic attack. And then I'm like, huh, so that would actually be the perfect time to have a panic attack, because that's how panic attacks work. It makes you panic, the fact that it would be a bad time to panic. Meanwhile, for the water to get warm, we're doing 1. And it took me some time to like figure out that this was the right quantity. And 3. But this is why I never stray from this type of flour. It's always the one that I get, because that's the one I've gotten used to. I think the recipe asks for, I think it calls for 2 cups of water. And I'm like, that is not enough at all, especially since it's like such a wet dough. And this is good timing because the olive oil was, I think, a liter for $8.99 at No Frills. So if you want to stock up, now's the time. It was so freaking expensive. I remember a time when it was like, it was $6.99. Am I going crazy? I don't know. All right, so I just mix and mix because I found so many times I find like a dry pocket, and it always happens when I'm doing the second proofing and I dump it into a pan. That's when alrighty. Yeah, I think that's the one that I tried, but I would have had to basically refigure out the whole recipe. I made it the way that I always do, and it ended up being really flat, so I think maybe it takes more time to rise, or maybe I needed less water, more water, I don't really know. But the thing about baking is very much about getting to know your ovens, getting to know your ingredients and how they behave. But I now have my focaccia down to a science. I cook it 12.5 minutes this side, then I flip it 12.5 minutes the other side, because the element runs like this, so I want it to cook evenly. I made the mistake when I first started to not use butter and oil on the bottom, so it would always stick. And learning that I can kind of accelerate the second proofing by my oven, like the lowest temperature is still quite high, so I basically have to like cycle it off and on. About all kinds of different things. And now I can make, all right, I think that's enough. I think it's, let me check the middle. It's crazy how it gets all, the gluten development gets all sticky. Sticky, 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 sticky. I'm gonna try to put as much of it back in here, because this stuff, cleaning it in the sink, it's just this like goopy disaster. So I try to get as much of it off of the spatula as I can. See that? All right, dunk that in water. Now coat it with some olive oil. So this is gonna double in size overnight. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom, and then saran wrap. And then I put this in the fridge. I can find room for it. Holy, okay. We're gonna have to play some Tetris here. So I think these will fit. Yes, these fit up here. Also, side note, I love these bottles. They're so pretty. I'm very excited to use them in some photos. Because you can return them, but I'm gonna use them as props. So this can go up here, this can go over here, pushing it back, bada bing, bada boom. All right. Okay, that's the focaccia prepped. Okay, now. Now. Banana bread. Alrighty, everybody. Recipe number 3. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to preheat my oven like freaking low because it just runs too hot, like way too hot. So, okay, I want to clean this up a little bit because it's really, I do like myself an organized kitchen. This I will be using again. This citric acid is for tomorrow. And the way that I organize my kitchen is basically like the things that I use all the time are basically here. I got them into these big containers. I know I got some comments about bagged spices. And the things that I use like semi-regularly are here. And then you go up with the ones that I don't use often at all. In fact, like the ones that I use the most infrequently, I have to get a chair to get up and like get stuff. So that's basically my main way to organize my kitchen, because I find like the harder it is to put things away and the harder it is to get things, the more it creates a mess because you don't want to put things away because it's hard, and it's just so make it easy, especially since my space is quite small. I really have to use that vertical space. Now, I'm not the most organized, and I definitely want to organize my kitchen more. I mean, this door just fell out and I never got it fixed. So that's one thing, but now I do remember that I had brown sugar. But brown sugar is something I don't use a lot. So it might be one of the things that I have to grab with a chair. Professional. Yeah, I did that. I bought, I think at some point, a 22-pound bag of flour, but I didn't really have anywhere to put it except like, I do see the occasional mouse, so I keep all food elevated, so I cannot keep it within reach of my little buddies. They know the rule. I don't want to see you. Now, I think blah, blah, blah. I wonder if I ended up using, maybe I used it all up. Okay. So I'm just gonna make it from scratch with some molasses. Because I think I used it all up for, I thought see, my inventory system is failing me. My mental inventory system. Because I could have sworn that I had gotten some for that chocolate cake, right? And I don't think I used it all. But it's very much possible, you know. Well, if I don't see it, it's probably because it's all gone. That's brown rice. All right, well, no biggie, no biggie. So, let me just, because I have 3 bananas, and I'm pretty sure this takes... Okay, so it's 4 large bananas. Okay, so I do have, I think, half of one that's chilling in the fridge. I think. I do need the dark chocolate. I for sure have half of one. Half of this stream is looking for ingredients. I swear, well, actually, no. I advertise this channel as the most unprofessional cooking show on the internet. But you know what? That's what makes it relatable, you know? That is what makes it relatable. Let me do a little bit of an organization here. This can go here, this can go here. This is chicken. I have a lot of chicken, so we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Okay. I have this a lot. It's another thing that I try to do with my fridge is like put things at the front that I use a lot, but then you know how that goes. So I was convinced that I had, well, perhaps I don't. Perhaps I don't. We're doing buttermilk. One last check at the bottom because I ended up finding another half of a banana at some point that I had forgotten about, and I don't want to do that. Okay, well, we just have 3, so that's fine. Okay, they talk about browning the butter. Are we really gonna do that? 4, 3.5. It says 2 cups of ripe banana, 300 grams. Well, I mean, the thing, if I weigh them, I'm weighing them with their skin on. So, oh, perfect. This is half cup full fat sour cream, which I have. Perfect. Okay, this is turning out great. This is turning out great. I've never used sour cream in everything else. Burnt sugar. Okay. Okay. I hate, what is 1 stick of unsalted butter? What is 1 stick? Is that a quarter? I don't even know. I have to go Google that. Actually, can you guys tell me the weight of 1 stick of butter so I know how much I need. We will brown it because we're here. One stick unsalted butter. That's like a 1/4 pound. Hi GF45. We're canceling my name, so you can call me Cookies. Which hilariously, I feel like... Oh no, I do have frozen butter. Okay, perfect. Oh my goodness. 1 stick. Okay, this is 113 grams. Okay. Unit, unit, unit. Okay. Ooh. Oh, fantastic. So that must be about maybe 1/2 cup. Okay. All right, on the dot. So we're browning the butter. We're browning the butter. Whoop, I'm gonna put it not so hot. And the other thing I have to do is make a cup of light brown sugar. Okay. So I need basically this bowl. I need 200 grams of sugar and then 20 grams of molasses to make light brown sugar. Yeah, food scale's a game changer. But I would get like not a digital one. I guess it depends. Like this one pisses me off because if I'm not fast enough, it like resets. So I don't know. I feel like there's better ones out there. Alrighty. Making light brown sugar. And I'm actually gonna use this whisk here. But yeah, if I'm not quick enough, it resets and I'm like, well, now I have no idea how much. Hello, Susie. have no idea how much I've just put in, and yeah. But what I want to do actually is weigh this thing, like the mixing bowl for my stand mixer, so that when I do have cake batter, and for example I have to split it in 3, I can subtract the weight of the mixing bowl and then divide it by 3, so I can have really even cake layers. Well, the thing with stuff made in China is that a lot of it is made literally right next to the name brand products, like in the same factory, not across the street. So it's really hit or miss, I guess, but I've had pretty decent experiences with things that I've bought on the cheap. Ethically, not the greatest, but you know, I'm not made of money, so that's the thing that a lot of people talk about, responsibility towards the environment, and you do what you can. I'm like, considering I don't have a car, I live quite small, like a commute by public transit. I don't consume that much as an individual. Let's look at the corporations that are, just literally chopping down everything and consuming everything there is left to consume. Until there's nothing left. Like let's do both. I just feel, I don't know, it just feels strange to me. Of course, if 8 billion people don't give a crap about the environment, but only so much we can do, especially like recycling. I think a lot of places are very much like smoke and mirrors, where in fact things are not really recycled. It's just like the concept of recycling, or like they take it but they still throw it in the same place because people don't separate recycling well enough. I don't know. There we go. So that was really nice to make light brown sugar. Now I can focus on browning the butter. So it says, okay, stirring occasionally until the butter turns amber brown and smells nutty, about 3 to 4 minutes. So there we go. My light brown sugar. It's a good solution. I always have molasses on hand just in case I don't have brown sugar. That we always have really nice, not crystallized brown sugar. Okay. So that's gonna have to cool for a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix together the flour, salt, baking soda, and cinnamon while this does its thing. I'm going to need this, I need this, I'm going to need this. So how much flour? 185 grams. This is nice because you don't have to dirty a bunch of like cups and measuring stuff. And it's a lot more precise, which is important when you're baking. Okay. And then I also said, I'm just going to stir this. It's gonna take a while to cool this, hey? Well, It'll just add to my watch time hours, which I'm at 405 subscribers and I think 1,708 watch time hours out of 3,000 that I would need for my channel to get monetized. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. See, another thing, like half a teaspoon is not something that I use very often. It's usually a tablespoon or a teaspoon. So the half a teaspoon is put away. Half a tablespoon, 1/8, half a teaspoon. There we go. Okay. This is going to be a new banana bread recipe for me, so we'll see how it turns out. It's just when it turns amber. I think these are all the milk solids on the top that are... Okay. So to combine, salt, 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 salt. Whoops. And cinnamon. How much cinnamon? 1 teaspoon. Okay. Okay, so that's the dry. Where is my... Okay, now I don't have a whisk, so I'll just use this. This fork is fine. Alrighty. Until the butter turns amber brown and smells nutty, about 3 to 4 minutes. I don't know in what world this person's butter browns in 3 to 4 minutes, but not in my world for sure. Okay. While that thing is thinging, while the butter is buttering, I'm gonna mash the bananas. I'm gonna sleep good tonight, is all I'm gonna say. For sure. I'm gonna use this other bag of flour as my temporary garbage. This is garbage. You would wear your head. I don't know if it would. I don't know what the max is actually on this. I think for your head, you might need an actual person scale. I love bananas. Ooh, it's turning amber, and it's, yeah, there it is. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, perfect. Pulling it off. All right. Gorgeous. Yeah. I smelled the nuttiness, and I was like, she's done. She's ready. she's ready to hang out. She's just gonna like do her little thing over here. And because that pan is super hot, what am I freaking doing? Oh, I already used, okay. Well, I want to like transfer it. I'll transfer it into this mug and then I'll put like a spoon so it doesn't smash into a million pieces, but I want it to cool more quickly. Woo! Yeah, she was hot. She was hot. But I can smell the nanitas, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, so I've never tried this, this banana bread recipe before. So we shall see. I'm going to put a little bit of, there we go. This is just like soapy water for it to soak a little bit. Okay, butter's in here. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to put it on the table that's right in front of the air conditioning unit. And hopefully baby girl cools down. So I'm doing the masharoni, mashing the bananas. I'm gonna mash them. But this is awesome that I get to use the rest of the sour cream. I like this. A lot of the recipes that I make are based on like, well, I have this leftover ingredient or I have this that I want to use up. I mean, the bananas were what I wanted to use today. My gosh, it's Saturday, but it feels like, it almost feels like Sunday. I'm kind of lost in my days, even though I've been working like a regular Monday to Friday lately. It's not been the case throughout this contract, but to know. I'm just exhausted, and I'm, you know, part of training at the gym is also like rest is productive, and you can take the time to let your body recover. I think I've been going a little bit harder and I haven't been giving myself a lot of rest. My legs feel really tired. So I'm gonna try to mash this as smoothly as I can. But at the end of the day, like I've never really noticed much of a difference if the bananas were properly super mashed versus having a little bit of leftover clumpy clumps. Alrighty. Now vanilla is gonna go in here. Where's my vanilla? Hello? It's in my face. It's like here. No. Oh, here it is. But I want to get a good night's rest tonight in preparation for tomorrow. It's basically just the cheese. The making of the cheese is going to be hard, and I'm very curious because I basically have to like stretch the mozzarella. I didn't because I worked for HelloFresh at the time, and so I was basically making the meals from there, and I was having a really hard time with my digestion. And yes, I do weights. I do weights, and recently I've started using a resistance band to go on the Stairmaster too, because I'm trying to build my booty, and she burns. She burns, but yes, if you hadn't noticed, I mean, can't really see. There we go. More like when I hold something heavy, you can kind of see. But I actually I don't like this look. Like, I think I'm going to cool it on the upper body. But the main goal of going to the gym was that, like, I wanted to be able to eat more and stay lean. So. And I don't know, you can kind of see my abs coming through a little bit. These. So, yeah. But it's all about diet too. One large egg. Diet is the number one, because you know you can work as hard as you want at the gym if you have. It's all about like body fat percentage to be able to see those muscles. Boom. Mix that in. Half a cup full fat sour cream, which is, oh, this makes me so happy. You have no idea. I'm gonna use it. I have so many little containers in my fridge right now. Whack! So, how much do we want? 120 grams. Okay. Mix that in here. I'm kind of like not following too closely. I know it says to mix the brown sugar and the butter, so that's what I'm going to do in that little bowl, I guess. Large eggs, banana, sour cream. Okay, I think I have everything. Did you guys? I didn't put salt. And you know what? Even if I already did, I'd like things kind of salty. It brings out the flavor. All right. That. No, I don't think I put salt. I put cinnamon and baking soda, but not the salt. Okay. Okay, everything is done except for this butter sugar mixture, which she's still pretty hot, you know. So okay, that's fine. I'm gonna be patient because I don't want to accidentally cook the egg when I add the sugar back in here. So this is kind of the wet ingredients, missing a couple. So what we're gonna do in the meantime is we're going to take the time to. This is actually what I put. Okay. See the brown sugar. This is what I put on the top. It's just brown sugar and cinnamon. I put salt in the focaccia, but I don't remember this, but oh well. Hi, Zen Casserole. What a good username. But no, I didn't really do a lot of, to be honest, my baking came after. I was watching a lot of Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, but because I didn't want to go to the grocery store, like I was really limiting what I got at the store, like really, and trying to use, I think that's where a lot of my creativity came from, is because I wanted to limit my trips to the grocery store. So really using what I had and, yeah, using what I had in the kitchen to basically extend and not have to go to the grocery store. I think we went every couple of weeks, and it was tough because like my partner at the time wasn't very creative with food, and it was I think a really rough time for a lot of people, a lot of anxiety. I had just lost my job. Like I was a flight attendant, and then boom, all of a sudden I wasn't. So, I do have, let me see. Ooh. That's okay, I'll just put things in here with some soap. Let it do its thing. What we can do, so as you guys know, the bottom element of my oven runs very hot. So I always double pan, and I got these at the dollar store. Now I'm very curious about using aluminum loaf pans because it's supposed to help not brown the outside as much. So that's definitely something that I want to be looking to try out in the future. I'm gonna put this away. We don't need it right now. These I can put back in here. Nope, that's a lie because I have to wash this one. This one goes in here. These are the leftover cookies. I have so many snacks and treats for the game tomorrow. Yeah, that was bad. Banana bread French toast. That sounds divine. 10 out of 10. What am I looking for? Butter. Butter. I'm gonna line this pan, and I've seen people cut parchment paper before to like get it to fit better, so maybe that's something that we can experiment with right now as we wait for the butter to cool a little bit. But yes. You know what I saw today? Someone, it was on YouTube, and they were making banana milk. So we had evaporated milk, sweetened condensed milk, bananas, I think cinnamon, vanilla, water, and they just like blended it up. Or they added like pieces of banana and ice cubes, and then they just drank it like that. And I was like, honestly, that would make an insane ice cream. So I do in the very near future want to get the ice cream attachment for my stand mixer, good old Stella. So that's another thing I'll be experimenting with. I think it's gonna be, maybe I'll end up like developing recipes in doing all of this, finding out what works, what doesn't. Honestly, the double chocolate fudge cake is 10 out of 10, doesn't need any improvements whatsoever, but the butter I've been disappointed with. So who knows where this channel will go, where it will not go, where it will stay, where, I don't know. We're gonna find out together. So basically, they do this, but then they like, did I do it the wrong way? Should I do like this? Yeah, there we go. Maybe this would help, like an extra layer. It would help the edges not brown as quickly. So we're gonna test it out. It's something I've never done before with banana bread. And we're gonna fold it. Let's see what happens. Because then you can have it like overlap. Yeah, there we go. Wow! There we go. Bad. No, do Ken's phone first. I forfeit. You know, I'm still building my channel, so please, let's all pitch in. His next live stream. Once I get my new job and that new salary hits, you know, happy to pitch in and get Ken to get himself a new phone or whatever. But the thing with Ken is that like we could give him all of that and then he would like decide and be like, no, you know what, I'm still okay with my, and he's right, you know, we don't want to buy things. His phone seems to work okay. Okay, I think this is cooled enough. Like his phone works okay. I think until it becomes a really big problem, I don't think he's unreasonable about that. my gosh, this smells incredible. Okay, this is what they were talking about. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just... I think Ken is just, he's mindful about where he puts his money. And that's how he gets to live downtown Toronto and live his dream. I mean, he was able to do this full time because he spends money on the things that matter. I mean, look at him. He's in Edmonton right now. Clothing wise, like, very simple. But good for him. Like, do you know how much money I spend on clothes? And now I look at my closet and I'm like, I have nothing to wear. Did I see a beautiful houndstooth blazer at Simon's today? I did. Did it fit like a dream? Yeah, I did. Would I look really cute in it? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. It is a compliment. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about that blazer. This happens to me all the time. But like, should I be buying a $175 blazer? No. It's either cream. This reminds me of the banana upside down cake that I made, that mixture. So, beat with electric. Oh, I think I messed up because it's supposed to be light and fluffy. And I added the egg to that mixture instead. So maybe this is going to be a little bit more dense. Yeah, I was supposed to add this, the butter to the brown sugar, and then the egg in here and like cream it. Oh no, there's like a ball in the middle. No! But that's okay. We are very unprofessional here and things still turn out okay. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Like, I think also maturity is also understanding like where you want to put your money. I sometimes I get silly. And I do spend on unnecessary things. And then I regret it, and it's something like, and then the next time, like that blazer, I'm like, realistically, is it something that I'm going to be wearing a lot? No. It's just going to sit in my closet, and it's better to like invest in good basic pieces that are going to work and be versatile and just, so... Yeah, it's like, it's what are your priorities? Where do you want to put your money and your time and your energy? Hello, Cynthia. That's okay. I'm glad to hear you were out enjoying time with your daughter. It's much more important than a very unprofessional food channel. I just made, what did I make? The Argentinian treat, which is now in the fridge. And then I prepped my focaccia for tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to start the stream maybe at noon because I want everything to be ready for the game at around 3, I guess. I don't know. All right, so this And then I guess I just add dry ingredients. And I like to put walnuts and dark chocolate in my banana bread. Oh, that's so sweet, Cynthia. I really appreciate you always being here. We're gonna watch it from home. And so tomorrow morning I'm making burrata, and last week I made pistachio pesto, and then I'll make also a focaccia. So I'll put focaccia, pistachio pesto, mortadella, burrata, and then hot honey that I made the same night I made the pistachio pesto, and it's gonna be kind of like a nice little pizza. I also bought I have chips, I have popcorn, I have carrots, I have cucumber, I have little dips. So Nico was like, oh, did you invite anyone else? I was like, no, but I think I should. I really think I should. So I'll text a couple friends tonight and see if they want to join. Okay, so walnuts. Where's my scissors? And they're chopped. Nico's gonna be here, but now that I'm realizing how much food I have, I just don't know how much burrata I'll be making, like how much. Oh, the browned butter made this mixture like so nice and golden. Very excited. Okay. Now, in the past, I've put this cinnamon brown sugar mixture at the very beginning because if I don't, I find like it just tops it and it doesn't stick. But it tends to like darken and I don't know. I've lowered the temperature, so hopefully it doesn't burn, but I feel like it's sugar and cinnamon, so of course it's going to do a thing, you know? Always so satisfied by spatulas. You know what time it is. Oh my goodness. Okay. The browned butter is immediately noticeable. Yo, what up, Tim T? Hello, Writing Reckless. It is a party of two, but food-wise, I always go overboard. So he's either gonna leave. I mean, I think this banana bread's for his office. On banana bread, this is a trick that I learned from Adam Ragusia, who was trying to understand why treats at the store were so much more moist than what he was ever able to recreate. And he realized that it was the packaging, because if you wrap this, it's like the cake that I made, if you wrap this in saran wrap, that moisture gets locked in and it spreads throughout the loaf. Okay. This is what it's all about. It's about licking that spatula a mixer, you know. So there's an ice cream in Argentina that's called banana split, and it tastes exactly like banana bread batter, and it's got chocolate chips in it, and like that's what it reminds me of. So there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. And how long does it say to bake it for? Because okay, it says 60 to 70 minutes. I'm gonna put it for 45, and then we're gonna take it out and see, because as we know, my oven, she's hot. She's really hot and spicy. 375, and it's possible that this is set for I think it also says like a 9, I guess a 9x5. This is it. This makes sense. People's ovens are larger, who knows, but all right, put it right in the middle. Clocks, timers, and we want, nope. Quick timer, we want, no, I have to make a new one. Ah! All right, we're gonna do 43. All right. Boom. Okay. I hate cutting packages like this. They have to be cut across. Just saying. And proceeds to cut it like a dumbass. Okay. I don't know why. It just pisses me off. And then things like they don't come out properly. It just drives me crazy. And I just put elastic around it. I like to keep my chocolate in the fridge. This is gonna go in the pantry here. The butter goes away. Alrighty, bada bing, bada boom. And now I am left with a messy kitchen. It's actually the perfect time to clean it up. So, I'm curious, I think now that I have this mic, it might be actually a little bit better for you guys when I'm cleaning. It doesn't clip as much. So we're gonna find out. If it's too unpleasant, please feel free to let me know. This channel is for you just as much as it is for me. So if it's not pleasant, we're not about to do it, you know? So I'm gonna back you up, because normally, like this is where my dish rack goes. I'll put you over here. Actually, I'll put you over here. Okay, perfect. And for those who are curious, yes, I have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. So I'll put this here. This is my Garbaggio. It's my coffee that I'm drinking. Yeah, Carl, it's because of this thing. I'm very happy. Nico said he had the same problem where he was like, he has to blast it everywhere and he just can barely hear me. So I'm very, very glad that this audio has been resolved, the audio issues. And thank you for letting me know. If I don't know something's happening, I can't fix it. All right, turn this down. What's nice about sugar is that it's very easy to clean because it just with some hot water, melts right up. Same thing with honey. Find like peanut butter is so hard to clean. The focaccia like dough is really hard to clean. Always gets very glutinous. Not gluttonous, but glutinous. This. But, you know, food is such a personal thing. People have, there's so much culture and memory and all of emotion and maybe, like, you know, things that you read online, and like people are very serious about, I don't know, I find it gets people, like if you do something a little bit different than someone else, or you do it wrong, or you know, you do it wrong in their eyes, I found. And not even just that, it's like what you eat, how you eat, when you eat it, can get people quite mad. Mad or opinionated, and yeah, people, everyone that I talk to about food, everyone is very specific, and they always, oh, well, I never make it like this, or people have a lot to say about sugar, have a lot to say about like artificial sweeteners, and sometimes I get comments about how, like, you know, cottage cheese is not good for you because it has carrageenan. And actually last week, there's a food scientist that I follow, and I learned that carrageenan is derived from the same, like, it's derived from sea moss. But, you know, it's all in moderation. Considering, you guys know exactly what I eat because I post about it all the time. And I'm like, you know, if cottage cheese is gonna do me in, I'll take it. I wasn't meant to be here. Like, I just. SG, you're in Edmonton. I mean, I totally understand eating pasta every day. I would if I would, but then I wouldn't get my fiber and protein goals, and I wouldn't get everything that I very much prioritize protein and fiber for a few reasons, but that's kind of like protein, fiber. I actually recently switched from instant oats to steel cut because of my rice cooker, so I'm able to like prep it and I don't have to sit around for 45 minutes while it cooks. Just for the simple fact that because it takes a longer time to digest, it doesn't like spike your blood sugar as much, which if you're not diabetic, I don't think your blood sugar is spiking. And also, I don't know if you guys have seen this guy's channel. So he basically, I think he, diabetes runs in his family, and he's basically doing a lot of experiments to try to see the impact of different foods, but not only different foods, combinations of different foods on his blood sugar. And he has like a reader. So a few things that he's found has been really helpful is going for a walk immediately after your meal. But not only that, it's if you're going to have something sweet or something with sugar, what can help is actually the order in which you eat your food. So if you have, like, for example, the canned corn that I had in a meal, I also had protein, fiber, and the canned corn. So the combination of that is actually going to help stabilize blood sugar if blood sugar is something that you're concerned about. Like, general population with no issues with their pancreas, the one thing that it can help with is like hunger. Because if you have a blood sugar crash, do you get a bit of a signal to say that you're hungry or something like that? So if that's a concern, then yeah. And that's partly why I used to have a savory breakfast, because I wanted to stabilize my blood sugar and help me stay full for as long as possible. But in terms of sugar being bad, like, yeah, if you drink a 2-liter Mountain Dew bottle on a daily, then certainly. One of my exes was flipping out about me drinking Diet Coke, but at the time, my birth control pill was more likely to cause cancer than having a Diet Coke once a week. And he would drink a regular Coke every day, and he was extremely sedentary, and he ate very few vegetables. He would eat at McDonald's. His breakfast would be McDonald's, and his lunch would be Tim Hortons, or vice versa. So I'm just confused. And I would make him focaccia, and he would tell me that it was just bread. And so that is why we're not together anymore. Not just that, but I mean, the way that Nico reacts to my food, I mean, I think is largely like the biggest catalyst to me wanting to cook more, because I just love seeing him eat my food. I keep telling him somewhere along the way, like I was an Italian nonna. Every time he's like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm like, oh my gosh. But he does this to people. People like to feed him. So lucky for him. I also like to enjoy a quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's. Good night, Leo. Yeah, companies with sugar, but I mean, I pretty much eat from scratch. Like, my meals are like chicken breast, sweet potato, steamed vegetables. I think it's pretty hard to add sugar to that. I think cereal, for the longest time, we thought as like a healthy breakfast, which is a thing we had in the 90s. In the 90s, I would have the Costco muffin for breakfast. But it's like what people's needs are different, their cultures are different, their relationship with food is different. There's a lot of demonizing of very specific things on the internet that is completely unfounded. Like, if you don't understand food science, I don't understand it. So like, who am I to, like, if someone's telling me something is bad, and their explanation sounds like it makes sense, but then, you know, yeah, I don't know, but it's a thing. It's a thing, and it's partly why I do not want to get into the whole, like having a business where I sell food, because I'm like, I do not want to be at the mercy of people being so specific about the things that they want. I remember, see, this is what I do after I wash my dishes. I hydrate. And I put everything away. Okay. Now I have to say, everyone, my handstands are getting better. So we're getting there. We're getting close. Okay. This is in the garbage. This. Okay. Whew. Wow. We did a lot. We did a lot. And you know what? While we're here, see, let me show you actually how much the focaccia has risen already. Look at this. Look at her. You see that? That happened like she was just halfway. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning because, okay, 1%. This is bad. I don't know what this is. These are lemons. Just because I'm throwing some food out here, I might as well do a little bit of a fridge clean out while I'm at it. And you know what? I'm also going to, because I bought some raspberries and they're like on the edge, so I want to make sure that they're going to be ready to go. Do a little bit of a washaroony and a chopperoony. Yeah, this is bad. This is also, actually, I don't know what the expiry date is. July 25th. Okay, it's still good technically, but that's still good. Yummy. I love pasta. I actually tried a filet of fish for the first time this year. Just Bruno and me, you missed pretty much everything. Yeah. But actually, no, wait. Well, I'll show you the cake, but there's still a banana bread in the oven. So where is the cake? Here it is. So here it is. It's doing its thing. It smells so good. It's doing its thing in the fridge. It's best left overnight, and then tomorrow, this is the pistachio pesto that I made. It smells incredible. So I got this, I got some mortadella, and it's gonna be serious with the focaccia. So since this is good still, I'm going to put it in here. And I'm just taking a look at the things that I have in my fridge and just trying to empty out a little bit. This is fine, this is fine. What else do I have in here? That's fine. We're doing surprisingly good. We're doing surprisingly good considering, like, actually, I've got almost no rice in here. That's gotta go. And also, that buttermilk is gotta go. Definitely. Okay, the rice. This, stack them, and then I clean this. I have a nice kitchen. Well, thank you, Cynthia. I think it's, to be honest, like one of my neighbors, actually two of my neighbors who literally never cook. They never cook. I know this because they tell me that they either go get pre-prepared foods multiple times a week, or I hear them getting Uber Eats. But they both want, and one of them did get and is paying extra rent to have a renovated kitchen, but doesn't use it. Meanwhile, me, I spent my entire life in my tiny little kitchen, and I don't need an upgrade. Like, an upgrade, it being renovated is not going to give me more space. And that's like, they would have to destroy the wall. Like, it's just not happening. So I literally, when my neighbor was like, oh, I'm thinking of getting a new kitchen, I was like, is it going to inspire you to cook? Because the only thing he does is make bacon twice a week. That's it. Everything else, he goes to like a specific place and he gets like meals pre-prepared. He just doesn't cook. He also has a cleaning lady. Good for him. I mean, he also gets, like, he doesn't do his own laundry. He drops off his clothes somewhere for them to get cleaned. So for him, he outsources the things he doesn't want to do. My chicken, I still have a little bit of chicken left. I might have to meal prep at some point. But to, like, yeah, I have chicken left and I have ground beef left. Monday, maybe I'm going to have like tuna and rice. The one thing that I might meal prep tomorrow actually is rice, but with my rice cooker, it's so easy. I just put it in, press a button, and it's basically done. So yeah, I guess chicken, actually, interestingly enough, I tried a different chili powder and I don't like it as much. So how you wanted to see me prep the chicken? Well, I don't have any raw chicken, unfortunately. I still have a little bit of chicken left. The other night I made a nice fried rice for Nico. I really am a food factory in here. But I'm doing a little bit of prepping here. I'm cutting my green onions. As you know, I like to have green onions ready for whatever I want to use them for. Mostly recently it's that little Korean beef bowl that I've been having it's like a hyper fixation. It's just so good. And someone commented on the fact that I didn't not see Nastu, but it was a comment actually under the video being like, why don't you crush the garlic? I was like, literally don't feel like it. It's supposed to be an easy recipe where I don't use a million different utensils and it's a quick and easy dinner. But also, I actually like the mild and having those like chunks of garlic that I bite into. But yes, normally I am very much a proponent of get as much of that garlic, that allicin activation from like destroying the garlic fibers. Weirdly enough, I had kind of an argument with a friend at some point where I said that we were arguing. This is so stupid. This is when, you know, maybe like there's other things in the friendship that are like not great, because if you're arguing over such dumb things and getting mad about it. But basically, I was saying that if you put just like a whole clove of garlic in something, you're not going to get as much of a strong garlic flavor than if you like crush it and then add it, because the act of crushing it and like destroying it releases the allicin, I think is what it's called. And then I ended up actually seeing a YouTube video about it where the guy, I think it's Ethan, I can't remember his name. Ethan, he's the redhead guy. I don't know if it's him who tested the specifics of like how you prep your garlic, but I thought I was going crazy because he was just like, no, it's this, like, what are you talking about? And he was like bragging about how few kitchen like how few things he was using. So like, oh, I only use 1 fork, I make a whole meal and I don't have any dishes. And I just remember being very mad because I was like, no, like this is common knowledge. Like it doesn't taste as strong if you don't. Oh, Cynthia, so the key with the chicken is, I mean, I just put 1 teaspoon of, maybe for 3 chicken breasts that I like slice in half. I make them thinner because what can happen with chicken breasts is that it takes such a long time for the inside to reach a safe temperature that you're drying out the outside. So by thinning it out, it takes less time to cook, it cooks more evenly. So that's the key. And I also use a thermometer, so I know exactly when it's ready. And chefs typically, they'll pull it at 155 and let it kind of, the heat. That's what I do, okay? And I'm still alive. So, but 165, and as soon as it hits 165, you pull it off to keep that juiciness. So I just put 1 teaspoon of olive oil. I've been using onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. And yeah, you just have to really watch the temperature. And I put it in a cast iron, and what's nice is like the spices get kind of all burnt on the bottom, and it makes a little bit of a charred flavor as well. So that's, and you'll know when like the first flip is ready, because it'll release easily from the bottom of the cast. I do not add oil to the bottom of my cast iron skillet. Granted, I have taken good care of my cast iron skillet and it is like well seasoned, but the key is that. Oh, these are soft. This thing with raspberries, I just want to eat them all. Oh, my thermometer, it's from the dollar store. This is my thermometer. So you just, when you open it up, boom, put it in the middle and you can see it. As soon as you open it, it turns on. I feel like my lens is dirty, you guys. No, how dare I? That's better. No, wait, you're still a little bit. Yes, so I can't tell you how long I cook it for because it will vary based on how thick your chicken is, but I cut it like horizontally. So it's like, you can buy it like pre-filleted. I love raspberries. Oh my god. You can buy it pre-filleted. But that's the key. Because again, if you leave it a full chicken breast, it takes so long for the middle to cook that the rest is just dried out. I'm sure, Chantal. I learn every day. I change my method every day. Almost. Huh. But I also try to cook with minimal oil, minimal butter generally. So I kind of have to adapt things in order to do that. So that's also partly why I enjoy cooking for Nico so much, because I don't have as many restrictions when I cook for him, because he's not like looking to like maintain a certain weight or whatever. Yeah, normally Chantal, well, now that I don't like this chili powder that I got, it was onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and chili powder, sometimes paprika, but I don't know, paprika I don't enjoy so much. So if I make, sometimes I will I'll marinate the chicken in Greek yogurt with garlic, cumin, lemon juice, salt, pepper. I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, I like to just keep it really simple. I have made that for Nico because in Argentina, they have something called a milanesa, and it's typically made with veal, and it's basically like a veal. It's not they don't want to call it schnitzel. I don't know what the difference is exactly. It seems very similar to me, but they also have a milanesa a la napolitana, which is like basically a veal schnitzel with melted cheese on top. So I'm just eating like the raspberries that are extremely soft. But yeah, everyone, you know, what's most interesting to me is how people make rice, like what their rice habits are. Because everyone makes rice so differently. Some people swear by minute rice. I have never used minute rice at home in my entire life. It's literally just like, now I have a rice cooker, but my mom was always just like, put rice in a pot, wash it, and then just cover it to one knuckle above like your finger. And I've seen different people have so many different ways to cook rice. Really, really fascinating. And like type of rice as well. And some people just straight up do not eat rice. And there are obviously ways to like season it. I've heard of parboiled. Yeah. Oh, another thing, yeah. When I did make that that cilantro garlic rice, I did toast the rice with some garlic. But again, I try to limit the butter and the oil. But I made the mistake of buying just like plain white rice instead of jasmine last time at the store because I didn't have jasmine rice in the quantity that I like to buy. And I'm still sad. I miss my jasmine rice. So, I freaking love raspberries. But they're rough. You kind of have to eat them quickly. And they have so much fiber. It's why I try to eat as many. It's my berry of choice for my breakfast because they're so high in fiber. Yeah, jasmine is good. I'd have to try parboiled. I've never tried it, I don't think. Unless like a restaurant uses it. I don't think I've tried it. For a while I was doing a lot of brown rice because it has more fiber. And I might start again because in the rice cooker it's easy. What's our timer at? Okay, we've got about 13 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put these in containers. In this container specifically, even though they're gonna be very soft, but that's okay. I don't mind them being kind of mushy in my breakfast. But yes, one thing I want to try making is fried chicken. But for that, like I also want to get like a proper thermometer, like one of those ones that you can hook to the side of your, because I'm going to make it in the cast iron, the Dutch oven. I want to make buttermilk fried chicken. I saw basically like you dunk it in buttermilk and then there's like a mixture that you can make with flour, I guess, white pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. I'll have to go find it, but it's someone who experimented with a bunch of different recipes and tried to find the best one in the buttermilk. Crap, I just brought my buttermilk. Damn it, no. I think I needed more than what I had. And I don't think it was good anymore. So, yes, that is one thing that I want to try making. But again, because I'm trying to grow muscle while still being lean, I do have to be mindful of what I eat on a day-to-day. That's the thing. That kind of goal and that kind of eating guides a lot of how I make my food. But I used to eat my diet has, or the things that I eat has changed a lot throughout the years. I love how I said, yeah, this mug shows the first letter of my name. Crap. Doesn't matter. I learned. Ooh, I used to be obsessed with St. Hubert's chicken and rice soup. But, so I remember like in university, I used to like put like fettuccine pasta and like cook it and then fry it up a little bit with some dried basil, salt, pepper, and then I would just top it up with like deli ham on top. And then I ate a lot of fried rice. That was like one of my go-to meals for the longest time. I ate out a lot because we didn't do that growing up, and then as soon as I started to make my own money, I was like, oh my gosh, I can eat, and I'm obsessed with food, so there's a few of my go-to places in Montreal. And And when I was a flight attendant, I did try to meal prep when I could. But I mean, imagine being away for 4 days and you don't necessarily have access to a fridge, and so it gets really complicated. But I used to make these taco bowls. And it was basically like I would make rice and then I would add like chili powder, black beans, onion, salt, pepper, and sometimes like a tomato paste or something, or like a tomato sauce in the rice. And then I would top it with some like melted cheese, and then I would put in like separate containers some iceberg lettuce, and then crunched up like corn chips. And so I would reheat it in the ovens because I would have these little glass containers. I would use the aircraft ovens, and I would just sprinkle the tortilla chips, and this is not something that I didn't see a recipe for this. I just like saw the idea and just made it however I could. That was one of my meal prep things. But I didn't eat a lot of yogurt at all, like especially like fat-free Greek yogurt. Thanks, Susie. Have a good night. Yeah, I didn't eat a lot of yogurt. I didn't eat very well, but it's hard to eat well when you're, on a budget as a flight attendant and you're traveling all the time, so that becomes pretty difficult. I would make a lot of like this like basil lemon pasta that my cousin showed me. It was just like basically it was a specific cream cheese. It used to be in a yellow tub and they don't sell it anymore, or not that I've seen. And cream cheese with like fusilli pasta, fresh basil, salt, pepper, and like that cream cheese, and then some lemon juice. That was a dish that I really liked. I loved pasta salad. For a while, I was hyper fixated on quinoa salad. I was doing quinoa salad. Quinoa, I would put spinach, feta, cherry tomatoes, red onions, some chicken, and the dressing was olive oil, oregano, salt, pepper, crushed garlic, a little bit of either apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar to make a little bit of a Greek style dressing. That was one of my go-tos, but now I actually track protein, fiber specifically, and calories. So in a salad like that, it becomes very difficult to do because you're basically having to calculate all the components and then divide it by, it's not that difficult, but it becomes a lot of work the more ingredients there are, and then you add the oil to it, and that's so. I was under the impression that like fish, I guess when it's fresh or like it's not supposed to smell very fishy. I don't know. Also, fish that's not frozen has been frozen. Like all of it. They like flash freeze it. Unless, of course, you're living somewhere where it was just like fished out. Because everywhere else, like you have to be able to get it. So I think Adam Ragusia talks about how frozen fish is actually fresher technically than non-frozen fish, because most fish is frozen, and then so frozen fish technically hasn't been thawed. Yeah, I find other like this baking channel is completely, and this is the struggle with this baking channel, is because it's completely different than what I eat. So I have to find ways and people to give it to. But it's also a way for me to be able to enjoy making things that I normally wouldn't make in my everyday, because that's not how I eat. So this is basically, so this is my current hyperfixation breakfast. 200 grams of fat-free Greek yogurt, 120 grams of raspberries or blueberries, whatever is on sale, whatever I have on hand, 40 grams of my steel cut oats, but 40 grams dry. So I separate it into like 5 portions when I make a big batch. 15 grams of PB2 powder. And I add a little bit of sugar-free syrup to my oats. And that comes to about 350 calories for I think like 30 grams of protein. And typically I eat like 2/3 of it in the morning, and then I finish like the rest of it at around 10:30 to help carry me through to my lunch. I've been working from home, so my lunch recently has been 150 grams of chicken breast, 180 grams of sweet potato, and then 200 grams of steamed vegetables. And that comes to like 480 calories for like 55 grams of protein. So like I know all of the quantities off by heart, and so I just do the same thing all the time. For dinner, see, white rice I like to eat before and after I've gone to the gym. So it'll look like 100 to 150 grams of white rice. And then I might do like a can of tuna, or I might do extra lean ground beef. And then as a side, I might do steamed spinach or steamed veggies, or like canned corn, or like whatever vegetable that I have. A lot of the time it'll be like cucumber and carrot. Sometimes the asparagus goes on sale, so I have that, or some green beans, but all of it's always like steamed. And then if I'm having like a heavy workout day, then I'll do fat-free Greek yogurt with half a scoop of protein powder and half a banana. So my total for it ranges, but I'm looking between 1,400 calories and 2,000 calories, but I aim to get 10% of those calories come from protein. So at 1,400 calories, I aim to have 140 grams of protein. And then not like at 2,000 calories, that really is when I'm having like heavy workout and feeling like I need a lot of fuel. But I like to go up to 150 to 160 grams of protein. So to meet all of my macro goals, I don't have a lot of room for other things. But I make room for it, obviously. Like I went to the Swan, I have beer, I have burger. I'm just mindful about the portions. It does help that Nico will eat everything. Yeah, Cynthia, so chicken breast is excellent. Canned tuna is excellent. Egg whites, eggs. And if you have a hard time getting enough protein, I think you mentioned you don't like the taste of protein powder. So, but there's so many different protein powders out there. Like there's all kinds of different flavors. There's ones that are flavorless too, so you can mix them into something you're already having, or fat-free Greek yogurt, or just Greek yogurt in general is very high in protein. Beans, yeah, beans have protein. Beans have protein. It's just that beans require a lot more calories to hit the amount of protein you might want to get. So if you're not concerned about like the total amount of calories you're eating, beans, absolutely. Beans and rice, I think they talk about it being like a complete protein. Quinoa has some protein. White fish, tofu, fish in general, I mean, whatever. So Cynthia, I would recommend maybe do some research online about like what people talk about in terms of protein powder. Because yeah, you can see which ones people prefer in terms of flavor. I genuinely get enough protein without needing protein powder, but I do enjoy having a little bit of something sweet and then like putting it in yogurt with a banana or with some like PB2 powder. Sometimes I add it to like overnight oats. Yeah, you know what? I have some white wine left in my fridge, and I think about making kind of like a white wine butter reduction to put on some fish. I went over to my friend's place maybe a couple months ago for dinner, and he ended up, I think it was like Macedonian feta that he whipped up and put like asparagus on a bed of that Macedonian feta. It was incredible. It was so delicious. And he had made a white fish. And this is what this channel is all about. We love to talk about all kinds of foods and meal options and ideas. So fresh fish fillets, fry them up, bottle of beer, yeah, mashed potatoes, delicious. Steak. Oh, okay. So I don't think they're gonna be ready, but I do wanna check on it because, as we know, my oven, she needs a name. Ooh. Baby girl, look at her. Oh my gosh, this smells amazing. Okay, we gotta do a little bit of a toothpick situation. I mean, that's the thing with, like, how do I, it's so freaking moist. Yeah, no, that's definitely not ready. So, what do we do? Another 10 minutes? Because we're doing low and slow here. So. Quick timer. I'll do 8. Okay. Hi, bestest times to be born. Yeah, that's a good call, Chantel. Chantel, what do you put in your mashed sweet potatoes? Do you have any recommendations? I know a lot of people they add some maple syrup and maybe some garlic, because that sweetness, you like to pull it a little bit with that maple syrup. Sometimes I make, not very often, but garlic butter, honey garlic carrots, roasted in some butter. And then just when they're about to be ready, I pour the honey garlic mixture. I finish it off. It's like a glaze, a honey garlic glaze. And the way that smells is borderline illegal. It's always crazy. Yum. Yeah, 1500 is too low, for sure. 1500 is a deficit for me. 1500 is a deficit. In fact, like sometimes, like 1500 it's not sustainable. I would say I'm closer to like ranging between 1700 and 2000, but I am quite active. But well, my sweet potatoes, I put them in the air fryer, but again, I'm trying to have, like, not use a lot of oil. So yeah, I just put some oil, salt, pepper, oregano, air fryer, and they come out. Lex burger, no. No, I didn't. I mean, one of my my favorite burger places in Argentina. It's very upsetting when you travel somewhere so far away and the food is so amazing. This has happened to me countless times, especially as a flight attendant, when I go somewhere and I just know that I will not be able to find the same thing here just because of the quality of the ingredients and it's just different. It doesn't matter if you import, like, especially meats and dairy, it's just not the same. It smells incredible. So, we're gonna have to prepare because when she's ready, she's ready. She's gotta be taken off the heat. She's gotta be put on a cooling rack. Put that over here, put that over here. My goodness, what time is it? Oh, it's 10:52. My goodness. What am I drinking? It's decaf coffee. my little crappy decaf. You know, I think I'm gonna need one of those squishy pads because my knees hurt when I'm standing so long. Because the floor, it's a tile floor, so I'm gonna need some help. So let me find. This is cool because I can walk away and you guys can still hear me. What am I looking for? My bag. My little tote bag. So, I purchased, and this was delightfully cheap. This was the rennet. I got a liquid one, but also a powder one. Because they say it comes in pill form as well. Now, okay. Okay, so this is powder rennet. This is a microbial one, and I'm pretty sure this is the calf one. I don't like that. I don't think... I think they're both microbial. Anyway, so basically, yeah, powder rennet for cheese. So heating up the milk, adding this to the milk, stirring. Oh no, I think you have to add citric acid to this. We are waiting for the banana bread to be ready. So that's like the last thing. Hi, Art10 Gaming. Yeah, we're just waiting about, I think we've got maybe 2... Where's my timer? I'm so tired. I love how I thought this was going to be like a short... Got about a minute and a half left. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a short stream, but I forgot that... No, I'm not making cheese tonight. I'm making it tomorrow. So tomorrow at around noon, I will be making mozzarella, and from the mozzarella, I will be making stracciatella, and with the stracciatella, I will be putting it inside the mozzarella and creating burrata. In the morning, I'm going to pull out my focaccia to do the initial proofing, and I guess around maybe when the cheese is ready, I'll be putting in the focaccia into the oven, and once the focaccia is done, I'll be putting my pistachio pesto, mortadella, burrata, and hot honey, and we will be feasting. Yes, I will be live. It's I have it scheduled, I just haven't. I don't think I've put the correct time. I have to fix that. So probably at noon. Just check it out. I'm gonna fix that tonight. Yeah. Thank you, Chantal. So, yeah, it's gonna be kind of like I've had pizzas like that before that are like the. Whoop, okay. Let's check on her again. I guess it's not really a pizza. It's kind of like a. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's something with toppings. How's that? Well, I'm glad this is not it's not burning, which is good. It's hard when you dunk it directly into a chocolate chip, you know? I think she's done. I think she's done. And you know what? Yeah, I think she's done. But I won't be able to tell because I'm not eating this. Maybe I will. I don't know. Oh, I did. Thank you. I'm glad. Okay, well, there we go. I had the presence of mind to plan. Yeah, I think the plan was to time it so that, like, I don't think it's going to take that long, but yeah, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. Very curious. I'm very curious. I think this is the one thing that's going to be the most difficult thing I've tried so far. Not that I don't know. It just looks a little bit more technical. Like the temperature really matters. The timing really matters. So I'm also really excited. I have to get some good rest. So I'm gonna let little Miss Banana Bread do a little bit of a rest. I'm going to go brush my teeth, wash my face, and get into bed stat because I am fading. I am tired. So let her rest a little bit inside the pan, and once I've done my nighttime routine, I will come back and yes, next week's gonna be kimchi. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for another adventure of making a million things and filling my fridge. Stay cool, everyone. Hopefully the smoke subsides and we're able to enjoy the cooler summer evenings. I'll catch you tomorrow if you're available at noon Eastern for some burrata making. Take care, everyone, and thank you for joining the live stream. Bye.